All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. This is 72 hours with the Galaxy Note 10 Lite. Now, the phone in this video, in this discussion video, I'll probably show you a couple of photos for the camera when I get to talking about the camera. But I've heard some people complain, had some concerns about the fingerprint reader. And so I have mine set up, but the facial recognition is how I like to get into the phones. And I do have my Galaxy Note 10 Plus over here, and I'll reference that in just a second. But overall, the fingerprint reader that people seem to have some complaints about, it's a little slower than the norm, honestly. But it's not like gonna make you that upset. I mean, because if you have the phone, as you can see the difference there and the fingerprint readers. So this fingerprint reader, it's harder to set up, I'll say. It's harder to set up and it's not as accurate. But the alternative to that is your password. And again, some people are going to say that fingerprint reader is fast. It's not slow. It's just not as fast as the Galaxy Note 10 Plus or some other phones. But it is good enough. So you just have to hold your finger a little bit longer than normal. But still, it is a in-screen fingerprint reader. So we can't beat it up too much because at least it has one. Now, the facial recognition is a different story. It's actually, as you can see there, I just did it. It's actually pretty fast, even from behind the camera. And I have mine set to go straight to the home page and not stay on the lock screen when in fact I do unlock it, because that is how I prefer to unlock it. You can see how fast that is. Now, just for reference, again, here is the Note 10 Lite. You can see how fast the Note 10 Lite is. And this is, considering I'm behind the camera, trying to get this video done and show you the way this works. So with that respect, the fingerprint reader is good. It does work, but I prefer to use the facial recognition to offset to get in. I feel like I can get into the phone a heck of a lot faster. So there you have it. That shows you how fast. And you can add alternative looks to, I don't know if you knew that, but there's a spot in the biometrics where you can add an alternative look. It doesn't have to be, you can put on a hat or something, or, just change your look and try to get the phone to recognize who you are. So the fingerprint reader, the security, I should say, on the device is actually pretty, it's fairly spot on with every other phone that's out there. Now, phone calls, obviously they're going to be good. Basic phone calls today are not bad pretty much on any phone. It depends on which network you're on. So if you're on AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, they all have really good, even their prepaid portions of them, like Cricket, Metro. What is the other one I have? The prepaid ones for each company, they all have one. You know the one I'm talking about for Verizon, and also the other one for Sprint. But nonetheless, phone calls, fantastic. Internet speeds and everything, you're going to get whatever your speeds are with your company that you're with. I haven't tested this on Verizon. Oh, Visible, there we go. Visible, yeah. I haven't tested it on Visible or Verizon, but some people have gotten their A51s and A71s to work. So you just need to be an active SIM, and you're good to go, from what I'm told. So, I could definitely take my Visible SIM and put it in here, but to me, it's not that serious. I like the way my Visible SIM is. I don't want to make any, anyway. Service, phone calls, it's good to go. Now, performance is something that some people, feel some type of way about, but I personally feel like this phone performs perfectly fine, just like any other device. If you get caught up on, it has an Exynos, it has this, you're going to miss out and you're wasting your time. Shout out to my man, Terry Warfield. You're wasting your time thinking about, Stephanie, there she is. You're wasting your time thinking about specs, you got to get past that. This phone will perform like any other device that you possibly have. Shout out to my man E. You just have to realize that it's going to be as fast, if not faster, than a lot of phones today. This has an Exynos processor in it, so what? Boom, it's fast. No problems whatsoever, and I'm totally fine with the performance on here. So the alternative to that is, if you don't want an S Pen, which I'll get to that shortly, if you don't want an S Pen, you can get the S10 Lite and that is the excellent. It's the Snapdragon 855 processor, which is it's the same processor as my Note 10 Plus. This is crazy, but nonetheless, you can in fact get a version of this phone pretty much without the S Pen, because you're still going to have all the side features and everything like this, because this is what they're doing now. They're giving this functionality to all of their devices, and having proof of that, it's on everything, man. It's just on everything. So performance and functionality and everything like that, you should be fine with this device. Which leads me to the battery life. The battery life on here is fairly good. You should get between 6 and 8 hours of screen on time with no problems whatsoever. No problems whatsoever. So, and depending on who you are, you're going to probably get more than that. It just depends whether it'll last a full day or not. So I prefer to have longer battery life than a bunch of screen on time any day. Meaning, if the standby time is good, the phone will always be there for me. So, for example, on my V60, since I'm in the review phase, but I'm focusing on this phone more now, standby time is ridiculous on the V60. So when I do pick this up, it's going to probably show like 2.5 days with 9 hours of screen on time, or 3 days with 8 hours and 55 minutes of screen. It's going to show that long time. And I would prefer to have that over a bunch of screen on time that only lasts me for 16 hours. Meaning, if my S20 Plus only lasted, shout out to Carl, get your snail case. If my S20 Plus only lasted 17 hours off the charger with 10 hours of screen on time, that's not beneficial to me. This phone, on the other hand, will in fact give you long, at least 24 hours of standby time, like total usage, and then about 6 to 8 hours possibly of screen on time. It should. I can't say that it definitely will, but it should. And that's going to be how you use your phone. Now, as far as feel in hand, I think this phone will make you happy compared to this device. I mean, this is my Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and the designs are obviously similar. They're almost the same height. This is rounded on the Note 10 Lite, so it appears that it's taller, and it is just a hair taller because it's got that round bubble top. But other than that, the phones are pretty much almost the same size. The Note 10 Plus coming in with the 6.8, I believe the screen is. But other than that, excuse me if I hit the microphone. Other than that, I'm really feeling like the feel in hand. Obviously, this boxy feel is something that I really desire at times. But the Note 10 Lite, just this new family of phones, and I keep referencing them all together. A51, A71, S10 Lite, Note 10 Lite. These are all in the same family because there are phones that didn't launch in the US. It just didn't happen. People can get them, but you might have to get them from a third-party source. Use my link in the description and get $10 off of this phone. So this phone will come to about $499, and the S10 Lite is in fact, let's go here. Let's go check it out for you. So we'll go to menu, go to Samsung, and I'll show you the correct current pricing, and you get $10 off this price. So the S10 Lite is $509, and you got to act quick, man, because this was actually $470 the other day. So right now it's $509, so that means you'll get that for $499, and you'll get the Note 10 Lite for $499. Those are both $509 a piece. And then you've got $379 for the A71, and then the A51 is $279. So you'll get $10 off of all of these phones. Hit up wirelessplace.com. Use my code, link in the description. Again, if you're wondering why I am telling you to buy from this source, is because you can get $10 off, and they ship 2-day service. There's no charge or anything like that. They ship 2-day service through the postal service, I believe, and it'll come right to your door. You don't have to sign for anything, I don't believe, and you'll be good to go. You've got a nice secure. I've ordered from them. I don't know how many. All the phones, all the A51, the A71, that last A51, all those came from the wirelessplace.com. Now, the reason they created a code is because I'm helping them sell the products. So I don't get any money from that code, or I don't get any of that money. That all goes to them. I just get the perks of buying the phones at a discounted price now that I've earned my way. because it took a long time to get to this point. I can either buy the phones at a discounted rate, or I can get them on loan and send them back to them. So, I mean, I don't have to tell you that, but I'm front and honest about it. That is why I built that relationship with them, to try to get these devices at a discounted price if I help them make sales. And folks, I can tell you, a lot of you guys are using that code. And so it helps me out, but they make the money, but it helps me out to bring more devices, if that makes any sense to you. That's just how the business works. And I could possibly ask for an affiliate link or commission from it, but I don't. I would rather just review the phones and then move on to another phone to give you more content. Now, with all that being said, the cameras on this thing, they're fantastic. I put this phone up against my S20 Plus, and I just did video. The photos are pretty much spot. All these, I have these Samsung phones. All these Samsung phones, the photos are pretty much spot on. You know, it's going to be come down to what you like in the type of photo that's coming out of the device. Like, meaning this one might show something lighter, and this one might show something darker. This one might show something a little dim. This one might be too bright. It's all about what your eyes, and the lighting has to be right. I have to snap the photos at the right time. It's just a whole bunch that goes into comparing photos, and I did video. So when I did the video with these things, I mean, this one did better. The rear camera on the S20 Plus did have more detail, but I still like the overall package because this phone costs $1,200. And in order to get it at a discount, you got to trade in a phone. You got to you got to finance it. With this, all that money that you're doing all that with, you can just buy this flat out for $499, and you're getting the same newer design. Let's get this off this case. Again, get your snail case on. You know what I'm saying? You're getting the same design ultimately. These are both 20 by 9, but this just is in that smaller body. That's all. But this is the S20 Plus and the Galaxy Note 10 Lite. I mean, you're getting ultimately the same phones. You're getting that newer design over here. It's just a good look, man. It's a good look. So the cameras on here, to me, in my humble opinion, they're great. Now, S Pen. S Pen, S Pen, S Pen. Why is it telling me this? All right, come on, buddy. I don't know why it's getting a pop-up or something like that. Oh, you know what? I had to factory reset my phone, and okay, here we go. So these are, nothing was wrong with my Note 10 Plus. I had to factory reset. I let someone use it, and they had all their information there, and blah blah blah. So now, these are the same ultimately. Let me see if I can get my left hand and my right hand. And also, these pins fit in each other. So just to show you, this will work on this phone. So as you can see there, they're the same. And so this pin can fit in here. Just so you know. So if you ever have a Note device and you want to, they're the same. So the performance here, let's create a note. I'm definitely going to be struggling here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it like I know I should do it. I'll just use the respective pins with each other. So, hello. I type the same thing, don't I? I'll write the same thing. So that is super accurate. And if I was an artist, wow. Make sure I got my pen right. I like this pen right here. And we'll just leave it at blue. They're doggone accurate, man. I mean, and that's when it comes to like having a note. You're not missing out on anything. Let's discard that. Discard that. You're not missing out on anything by getting the Lite version. It's just that good. It's just that good. I don't see anything different in here. If you go to the S Pen here, let's see here. I want to do. Here we go. All these things, just like in this Galaxy Note. And boom, and you can see the difference on how they're loading up. You know, the Exynos loaded just as fast. It's no problems, man. So the S Pen has all the functionality. I can control the cameras with the S Pen on this device, just like I can with this device. So the Note 10 Lite, the S Pen, the whole functionality, everything is there. I mean, I did get one thing I want to talk about. I did speak of this. So I'm going to go ahead and just show it to you. When you do 4K 60 on the Note 10 Lite, I got a warning that, hey, you only, for heating reasons, you probably should just keep it to 5 minutes, and it could possibly cut off. I don't recall if I've ever seen that on my Note 10 Plus, but it might be there. I don't know. However, everything in this is identical as the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. It's just coming in at half the cost. So I make this video for the people out there that you hear other people saying, you know what, it's got an Exynos processor. You really shouldn't do that. You know, the Exynos is garbage. The battery life is garbage. The performance is garbage on the Exynos version. Yeah, don't buy the Exynos version. Yeah, okay. So even though I review devices, I can't put it any more plain. I really use the phones, man. I mean, so I want to be as honest as possible. And yeah, you know, if you're just looking on wirelessplace.com, now, yes, I know you can get this phone you can get the Note 10 Plus and the Note 10 now at a discounted price. You can. That's because the newer version is ready to come out. And by all means, if that's what you feel like you need to do, go for it. But I feel like if you want the newer design and you want the same, without doing any kind of trade-ins or, you know, selling off a whole bunch of stuff to get that, you can definitely go right here. So if you look at on wirelessplace.com, they actually still have the Notes, $700 and $800. And this is I have the 512 gig version. So I mean, you can definitely buy from them. This is a legit company, which is what I'm not going to put my name against something that's not legit. And people always ask, you know, how much you getting, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm not getting any kind of commission. I just know that this is a legit company, and they will in fact ship your product. It'll be brand new. The seal will not be broken, and it's gonna work for you. Now, some of their phones are the Exynos version, and some are the Snapdragon version. This Galaxy Note 10 Plus that they're selling is the Snapdragon version, but it's the 9825. That is a fantastic processor, folks. There's nothing wrong with the Exynos processor. You remember when Samsung did Exynos processors in the US? There's nothing wrong with that, man. So we gotta think what you want to think, you know, do what you want to do. But I'm using the phones, and I'm telling you that you'll be fine with an Exynos processor. See, this is the 10 nanometer 9810. It's not a slouch in any way. In any way, it is a fantastic processor. So I wanted to give you an update, 72 hours, a full 72 hours of use. I took a lot of photos. I did a lot of video. I did everything I could possibly do for you to try to get you to understand that this is a nice device. But don't take my word for it. Buy your own if you decide to do so. I personally feel like if you get this phone right here, you're going to love the feel in hand. Again, if you like the Galaxy Note or you like the S20s, but you don't want to spend that money and then you want to get a little bit more, you know, you want to get just a hair more in the design or blah, blah, blah. I mean, pass on this previous year's version. I personally love this. This 512 gig is hard to find nowadays. So, and I too, to get this phone, I gave up an iPhone 11. I gave up one of my iPhone 11s to get this phone, and I got it for $600, and I got a bunch of free stuff with it. But for the price, though, you know, that $1,200, if you can't find it, or the $1,000, or the price is going down. But if you want to jump into 2020, I consider this to be a 2020 device because I think it was announced in January, and it came out in January or February, somewhere around there. We're only in April, so if you want the new, you want the new camera setup, you want the headphone jack, because I didn't forget, if you want these things, you know, I did gaming already in the first video. There's just a bunch going on with this phone that makes it worth it. It has a screen protector built in. They give you a case in the box. I'm not using the case right now. I like to keep it out because, you know, I don't take certain phones out of the house, and I haven't taken this phone out of the house. I have 4 phone numbers, so I just grab something else. So I feel like this phone is a win 72 hours in. I didn't just try to do that. I just have it like that. I guess the rhymes just come off the top of the dome. No. Okay, all right, let's get back to this. Anyway, it's your man Jay. It's a little over 72 hours, but this is a full 72 hours with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Lite. And I'll say this, Note 10 users or Note users, if you still have if you have anything some people are saying this or the Galaxy Note 9. If you have anything under the Galaxy Note 9, you really should consider buying this phone. If you're into Samsung, not just because it's a Note, but because it is one of their newer designs. It's going to be fast. It's got the latest One UI. It's just there, folks. It's got Android 10. It's ready. It's ready to go out of the box, and you don't have to trade anything in. You don't have to trade anything. You just buy it straight out. So the choice is yours. I just bring you the information. I'm as forthcoming, as honest as I could possibly be. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, for those that are in the know, it's your man Jay. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.